Hi guys, my name is Amy and I am a personal development alchemist. I help you to grow from where you are now into your highest potential. Today we're going to talk about generational healing and the red string of destiny. It's one of my favorite topics because it's so interesting and convoluted. Generational healing. So, what is generational trauma? Generational trauma is trauma that has happened in multiple timelines. So, this would be like your parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, like on and on forever, who knows. And it even goes all the way back to like original. So, it's forever because as we know in the quantum field, time is not real. The time-space continuum is only within the 3D paradigm, right? So looking at it this way, that's how we connect the red string of destiny, is through the removal of the time-space continuum. What is the actual mechanics of what's happening, right? So generational trauma, let's use myself for example because there's so much of it. And I've already worked through it, so I already know. Well, most of it. So, for instance, poverty mindset is a generational trauma that runs in my mom's side of the family. So, I have struggled with financial things my whole entire existence. Whether it's having a ton of money or $0, like it's just very like up and down chaos, right? It's never like, oh, I'm safe and secure. It's always about, I need to create safety. And my mom, she did the exact same thing. Like I learned from her, right? And her parents, had that as well because my grandpa was an entrepreneur. He was a business owner, and sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. So there was always these fluctuations, right? So for an example, this generational trauma, I had to learn how to heal my perception of money. What is money? What does that mean? What is its value in my life for me personally? How does it bring value to others? And what are my emotions in regards to this concept? And it actually has taken me, it sounds simple, but it's taken me a very long time to really redefine my perception about money and value. Because not only is our generational perspectives about things that we've lived through, they're also influenced by the current state of our society. So whatever is happening like generationally out in society is going to have an influence on your perspectives about that topic, right? So it could, this goes across any topic, not just money, but it could be self-worth, self-value, women, feminism, a balanced emotional intelligence, things like that also. It's not just about material possessions. So let's hit on the red string of destiny. So if time doesn't exist, the quantum tells us that there's just unlimited potential, right? To do whatever. And so when we look back, if we can look through the quantum lens, and this might be stretching it, so stay with me. Quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement. We are all entangled together. Everything that I do is a ripple to the outside world. Every belief that I have about myself conjoins with the beliefs of all 8 billion people on this planet to create one frequency of a collective consciousness. We know this as fact through quantum entanglement. So, when my mom did a choice, right? She made a choice about, let's say, money, because that's what I told you about. So then she then leads a ripple effect down the red string, because we're all connected through this red string of destiny. So her choice and her belief about money and perspective creates a frequency. That frequency then vibrates into me because I'm in her nearest vicinity. And even not just me, but everyone, the animals, the environment, the friends that she had, all of it. So our beliefs create our frequency. The heart, like the physical body, the heart is like a electromagnetic generator, and it's putting off this frequency to the outside world, right? So that then becomes my frequency. When they say the people you surround yourself are who you become, they're not joking, because it's legitimate, like proven facts based on frequency and quantum mechanics. So keep that in mind also. So you're going to then absorb that frequency. And even if you were taught something different, you're going to have that frequency, that belief, that programmed system into your database, your brain, the subconscious, and you will do things in life to play out that system over and over and over forever until you change the equation or the perspective within the database, your subconscious mind. Are you still with me? Okay, let's go a step further. Stay with me. I'm going to break it up, okay? So, we understand how frequency vibrates to, the next generation or previous generation or whatever, right? Okay, so then let's take, for instance, perception. You, as you are a result of your biological parents, right? Whatever choices they make, whatever it is, you are the result. You are the younger, like the child version of them combined, right? So if you have two parents that both have a negative perception about something, it's 99% likely that you will have that negative perception, and it is your parents' then job to teach you better than what they were developed on, right? Because we're supposed to always be learning and growing personally. That's how you achieve your highest potential, and that's why you're here on this planet, is to grow higher and reach a higher frequency, higher perspective, higher purpose within humanity. Raise the collective consciousness of Earth. That's why we're here. So if you're a parent and you just recycle the views and perceptions of your own childhood, you're just creating another version of yourself. That's going to be the exact same. However, when people talk about breaking generational curses, this is how you do it. So it stops with you. So you have to transform or transmute your perception from a low frequency to a high frequency about whatever the topic is. And then the next generation or your own self will have a result, an output of a high frequency perception of that thing or themselves or whatever it is. So, for instance, my daughter is a direct reflection of my own inner child. So all the things that I needed as a child, I have to, and I didn't receive, right? I have to then understand and go through myself and say, Why wasn't I given this? How did I want to receive it? And then I have to take the action steps and go away from my comfort zone of the things that I've learned, the way that I've conditioned myself, the programming that my brain has automatically created, right? Just from living. And I have to go back and revise it all and say, is this the way I want my daughter to feel about life? So when you do that, not only are you breaking generational trauma, ending it, healing it, you are healing yourself and your lineage. Because as we know, time does not exist. So each generation on the red string of destiny is just a different version of the self. My daughter is my inner child. I am my mother's inner child. We're all the same inner child. It's just, so my mom was my grandmother's inner child, and so on and so forth, right? So when you look at it like that, you realize that you are just a different version of your grandmother. You are just a different version of your mom. You're through a different lens, a different perspective. And what you bring into this world is either going to be a repeat of what's already been brought into this world from those past generations, or it's going to be different, and it's going to be a forward expansion. Are we able to heal everything from our generational traumas and lines? Is it our job? I don't really think it's our job if we don't want things different. If you want the world to be a different place than what you grew up in, then it is your job to do as much as you can. And why shouldn't it be your job? You're the one who wants the goal, right? You're the one who desires it. And if you desire it, it's because it's meant to be. I hope that makes sense. The reason why healing ourselves is so important is because we're healing literally the world. Every time that we let go of something, a non-truth, and we surrender to a truth, and we accept a truth about ourselves, about the world, others, our lives, our potential, whatever it may be, we are then not only healing us, we're healing the future generations, we're healing their future generations, so on and so forth. That's why Gandhi's quote of what does he say? You must be the change you wish to see in the world, or something like that. I can't remember. Or Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror song, my favorite song ever on the planet. Where you got to look in the mirror. You got to look at yourself. And if you want a change in the world, then you need to become that change. And that's exactly how we heal generational traumas. That's how we stop traumas from society. So if we look at society, like, let's look at this as a whole, right? So for instance, poverty mindset. Let's just take a look at it. Right now in 2024 in the US, there's a huge gap in social economic status. And it's not due to being a lack of money. There is no such thing as lack of abundance or lack of money. The government just prints off money willy-nilly, so we know that that doesn't exist, right? There's no such thing to affirm with our belief that there's not enough. That's just a perspective of the self. And so what we're doing by stopping that. So right now you could see with the huge social economic differences and huge gap between different, I guess, ways of living, would be that there's huge belief systems. There's a bunch of people who believe that there's not enough. And then there's a bunch of people, well, actually not a bunch, a few people who know that there's just an abundance amount of money in the world. And those are the billionaires, the trillionaires, whatever. And those are the people who are healed in that aspect. They understand that there's no such thing as parameters around wealth because it is related to our emotional well-being. And when you can freely flow your emotions, there's untapped potential for all things in this planet. So how do we actually like make changes that really like ripple through the cosmos, right? How do we change the future? How do we change the planet? Because for me personally, the planet right now, our society, it's not up to par with my fucking standards. I know that. And I know that there's a lot of people who agree with me. So the way that we change the outside, the society, is by changing ourselves. We adjust our perspectives and then we live out, we embody that new perspective and we live it out. We become that authentic leader that is aligned with the emotional well-being of what's best for all humanity. This process can be long and hard if you make it long and hard, or this process can be instantaneous. How are you, like, what are you willing to let go of in order to get what you want? If you're not willing to create space for a new paradigm, for a new perspective, a new way of life, a new earth, a new way of existing, then it will not happen. If you are willing to take accountability for your actions, for your footsteps in this world, then it will happen. And it's that simple. It's like turning on a light switch. Yes or no? Do you want it or don't you want it? If you want to change, then take the steps to make the change. If you don't care about the change and you're not going to take the action steps, then just let go of it because it's not for you, right? We don't have to push ourselves into doing things that we're not meant to do or we're not ready for. If you're satisfied with spanking your children and creating enticing fear in little tiny children who are helpless, then that's up to you. That's what you're creating in the world then. That's what you're bringing forth is fear and punishment, corruption. That's what creates trauma. If you were spanked like myself as a child, my mom literally beat the shit out of me, the holy living shit. And I smile now, but I want to cry. My inner child was never so scared ever, except for when my mom was threatening to beat the shit out of me for not doing what I was supposed to be doing, or for crying, or for existing as a human, whatever it may be. What you do, your current actions right now towards the next generation, but also towards yourself. Like, let's say you don't have kids. You still have the opportunity to make the change because you have, with the red string of destiny, you have all the knowledge, all the information from your past ancestors. And that includes all of them. Every single one of them. You have that knowledge. That's how you can tap into maybe special tools or gifts that you have. Maybe you are really good at sales and speaking, and people really are drawn to you when you open up and talk and explain things. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're an entertainer, and whatever those gifts are, to maximize those gifts, letting go of that generational trauma and those generational perspectives is going to be what shoots you, skyrockets you to your highest potential, or what keeps you struggling and working hard and trying to make it and where you're at right now. So it's really up to you, friends. I hope that this has helped you. If you have more questions about your own personal one-on-one generational traumas that you would like to stop, I do offer one-on-one personal development services. So go ahead, links in the description below. I'd love to work with you, and I'd love to help you grow past your boundaries and your current perspectives, your current ideologies, and your current programming within your subconscious mind. Let us heal, friends.